Hello everyone, Alex Savoie for Discovery of Wine. Tonight I have the tasting of the wine we talked about yesterday, Les Béates, Coteaux-d'Aix-en-Provence, so in Provence, 2006. And so, yeah, let's get into it. First thing I notice, I'm looking at the color, even though it's a 2006, and it's not, 2006 is 5 years old, it's not old, but it's got a couple years behind them. The color is still very youthful, so a nice red. It hasn't turned to the brownish color that old wines tend to get, and it's not that dark. I can still see through it very much, which is would be typical of a grenache based wine, which this is. Grenache, Syrah, and Cabernet-sauvignon. Grenache tends to make lighter colored wines, and anyways, other things. But if you let it. If you let a grenache plant grow as much grapes as it wants to grow, it'll make a very diluted wine. I don't think it's the case here, but the color anyways is pretty light. Let's give it a sniff. The first thing I really get is that kind of balsamic, garrigue sort of aroma to it, and I'll explain this right now. What garrigue is, or the term garrigue that they say in France, what it relates to is all the sort of bushes that grow in southern France. So we're talking about olive trees, we're talking about lavender, rosemary, all those herbs of Provence that you hear about, all that stuff that grows with the wind blowing in those regions. You get sort of a smell to it. And that's qualified as garrigue smell in the wine world. And so I am getting some of that, and I think it's a very typical smell for wines from southern France. I often get notes or those types of aromas. I'm also getting a little hint of balsamic, which is very similar to that garrigue stuff I was just talking about. But I'm getting a little bit more inky, maybe a little more profound than the garrigue aromas. I'm also getting strong aromas of plum and of cherries, of cherry pits, which like sort of those sour cherries. The term you're supposed to use is cherry pits. Anyways, so let's say sour cherries. So nice nose, a little bit of complexity there, which I like. I'm also getting a bit of vanilla, going into that not that fruit jam, but somewhere in between fresh fruit and jammy fruit. So a little bit of vanilla, but not too much that it becomes jammy and heavy. Let's give it a taste and we'll see if we can confirm those aromas. So I want to say right away, the wine is a little bit too warm. This has been opened since yesterday, actually. Had a glass of it yesterday. So it's been open since yesterday. It's had plenty of time to breathe. The tannins were a little bit tighter yesterday. Not tough, but a little bit tighter, which was very nice. Right now, they're a little bit smoother. They still got a little bit of grip to them, but just enough so that it's so that you're not drinking grape juice, basically. So very smooth, very nice. Wine is a little bit too warm, so I'm feeling the acidity a little bit more. But this is keeping it refreshing, because I'm also feeling the alcohol a little bit because it's too warm. That's why I pointed it out, actually. The acidity, though, strong acidity, is balancing that alcohol and making it tolerable. I'm getting sort of the same taste that I got in the aromas. So that plum, those garrigue elements to it, a little bit of cherry as well. All in all, a very nice wine. I was saying a little bit of vanilla. It doesn't get creamy though, but it is smooth. Very nice food wine as well because of the acidity. in the back of it. It's not going to get too heavy. It's not going to overpower the food. However, I wouldn't have this with some, would not have this with some white fish. But I think it would go well with any type of grilled meat. However, I wanted to have pizza tonight, so I'm still going to have pizza. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a pizza with sort of some elements that I find in this wine. So if you look at tomorrow's episode, maybe you will see what where I'm going. So maybe some olives in there, some prosciutto to get that strong smoky meat flavor, and maybe a little bit of fresh rosemary on the pizza as well. That should be nice. Yeah, so definitely. And finally, topic of discussion for today, I talked about a few elements that I smelled in the wine that are, you know, not necessarily what you would think to find in wine. And so I'm wondering, what are the aromas that you've recently found in a wine that you were not expecting, that you were shocked, like, oh my God, how is this soap smell doing in my wine? So if you've had any experience like that lately, let me know in the comments. Let's have a discussion about this. And in the meanwhile, keep on keeping on. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the pizza.